Good morning. This is Brett from the Happy on Social Media podcast. And today I want to talk to you about acknowledging the people that sort of support you. I hesitate to use the word fans, but these are the people that root for you to win, no matter what you're up against. And we all have some of these. We have the people that are able to, and they may not be the same people every time. That's totally okay. But we have people in our lives that notice and happen to see when we need some support, or they notice when we happen to succeed and we need to be witnessed and acknowledged and finally making it over that hill and succeeding at something. These are the people that root for us. They're kind of like fans, but I hesitate to use that word because these aren't like people in your fan club. These are people that are your friends, and they just happen to notice from time to time. Now, when I say happen, maybe they want to notice, but the algorithm doesn't always necessarily show them everything that's going on in your life. So when they're able to, when they happen to be there, and when it aligns with the things that you're sharing, they are able to then say, oh yeah, there's my friend. They're doing something awesome. Or, oh yeah, they really need some support here, and I want to let them know that they're not all alone. And these people can really make the difference in your experience in social media. When something happens, and might be one friend, might be two friends, it might be 150 friends. When they are able to see it, witness it, show up and root you on, it can really help to be heard, to be acknowledged, to be recognized, and not feel like you're totally alone. It's real easy for all of us to get in an endless scrolling cycle on our smartphone and not really feel connected. But sometimes we share something and the algorithm aligns and people can be there to hear us. Now, we have to all be careful with this. If we overshare, then we can start to be that friend that's sort of like the boy that cried wolf. And sometimes the wolf might be there every single time, but that message loses its impact. So as we share, sometimes we can benefit from this. And there's times when people, we go through phases in our lives where a lot of things happen every day for, weeks or months or even a couple of years. And so it's okay. Sometimes we need that support. And our friends, they'd love to help us. They are our friends. They're not always able to help us, and we need to remember that. They are our friends. They are not our caretakers. They're not we're not adolescents or children, and they are not our parents necessarily. These are just our friends, and they've got their own concerns and worries and challenges and problems to deal with too. But that doesn't necessarily mean they can't be there for us. So pay attention to the people in your life a little bit. And I'm not saying pay them back, but, acknowledge them when they're able to be there for you. Take a moment and let that sink in. The planets aligned, someone showed up and they were able to root for you in your time of need. Maybe, and that can really make a lot of difference. And pay that forward. Seek out a few of those opportunities where instead of just hitting the like button or the heart button or the sad face button, as a type of acknowledgement of what someone's going through, it's better than nothing, but it can be a little hollow and a little disconnected. So take an extra moment or two to reach out and just let them know that you have witnessed what they're going through and that you're rooting for them to succeed or pull through, or sending a little sympathy for their situation. You don't have to pity them. That's not necessarily going to help anyone. So be careful with your words. Acknowledge what they're going through. Be careful too about trying to fix them. You can offer up suggestions of things that might help, but maybe ask them first. Are you looking for help? Are you looking for ideas? Before you dive in and say, oh, there's 10 ways to fix that. Or why didn't you do that? Try to take a deep breath and not express anything that might feel judgmental, because then it feels like we're piling on them and pushing them down instead of pulling them up. Root for them. Let them know, hey, I'm hoping that you succeed. I'm hoping that you pull through this. I'm hoping that it gets a little easier and sooner. Or, this really, brought a smile to my day to see that you've made it this far. I've seen you in harder days, more challenging times when your car broke and your pet died and you were sick and you lost your job. And now I'm so, I've seen this progression, and it brings me a lot of joy just to witness this and my friends succeeding. Share something with them that lets them know that you're paying attention, and you'll find the more we do this, the more we bring it back, because we're all setting examples, not just for that one friend, but for dozens, if not hundreds of other people that might see that. And they may not emulate it or copy it right away, but we can all get a little better at how we engage to encourage each other to succeed and not feel alone, not feel separated. And that takes communication. So look for those people. Look for opportunities to pay it forward. Look for those situations. And maybe, when you experience it or receive it, show a little gratitude, express it out loud, write it, maybe even, create a quick video or something like that. Not because you have to pay anybody back. That's not the point of gratitude. It's just a mindful way to express that you're grateful for something that happened and maybe some of the people that helped with that, because it gave you connection. And in acknowledging that gratitude, it helps the people that engaged in some things that helped you feel connection back, because none of us want to speak into the void and never be heard. We, humans are social creatures. Even for those of us that, stay inside and don't get out, as much, or don't want to be surrounded by lots of people all the time, we still need different levels of connection. And we can get a little of that through social media if we engage and communicate and work to connect. So look for the people that are rooting for you and acknowledge them, and pay a little bit of that forward when you have opportunities, and when it feels right. It doesn't have to be this Hallmark card kind of thing that gets sent to everybody. Look for the ones that have meaning, and the people that need a little boost up or hand up or something like that. So thank you much, and hope the rest of your week goes well, because I'm rooting for you too.